Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most monolithically important and influential rock bands to rule the 1970s.
Crazy, stone cold crazy, you know.
Number 10, Steely Dan.
In the morning you go running for the man who stole your water.
Famed alt-rock producer Steve Albini harbored an infamous hatred for Steely Dan, famously comparing them to an SNL band warm-up. But we couldn't disagree more, since this quirky 70s rock act is beloved by legions of progressive-minded and jazz-focused music fans.
Well, I did not think that girl would be so cruel.
The duo of Donald Fagen and Walter Becker started out as record company songwriters before taking their witty and sarcastic lyrics to a project named after an infamous sci-fi sex toy. Steely Dan employed legions of talented musicians as session hands, delivering music that vacillated from jazz fusion workouts to pop-focused hits with that inimitable Fagen-Becker humor.
Backtrack to it again. We'll turn it round and round.
Number 9, Blue Oyster Cult. Whoever said that all 70s music was required to be brainless and boring? If that stereotype rings true, then nobody bothered to tell the boys in Blue Oyster Cult. This Long Island-born group captured an imaginative 70s sound like no other, incorporating lyrics that were often intelligent, strange, and profound in equal measure. Elsewhere, BOC could also rock with the best of them, combining muscular riffs with an atmosphere of ever-present weirdness. Influences from science fiction, comic books, and literature permeated the BOC sound, and the cult continues to this day, adhering to their promise to be on tour forever. Number 8, Aerosmith.
Well, I got good news, she's a real good liar. 'Cause the backstage and broke such a pants on fire.
One simply cannot discuss the arena landscape of 70s rock without mentioning and heralding these bad boys from Boston. Aerosmith was one of those acts whose music defined not only the 70s, but multiple decades. Their bluesy swagger and heavy guitar pyrotechnics allowed for the insurgency of heavy metal, while Steven Tyler's generational charisma reiterated what rock and roll frontman was supposed to look and sound like. Dream On remains a prototypical example of the power ballad, while Toys in the Attic and Kings and Queens perfected heaviness with style to spare. Number 7, Ramones. The 70s were a musically diverse decade that saw rock and roll splinter into a myriad of subgenres, including prog and punk. Progenitors for the latter arrived in the form of New York City's Ramones, who played rock music louder and faster than just about anybody outside of Motorhead. The band's aesthetic was ultra cool too, with each member taking Ramone as their surname, while adopting a uniform leather-jacketed look. Influences from the 60s could also be heard within the Ramones' music, however, including sunshine pop and classic rock that filtered their way into the band's punk rock spirit. Hey, ho, let's go! Indeed.
Hey ho, let's go. Hey ho, let's go. Hey ho, let's go. Hey ho, let's go.
Number 6, ACDC. It speaks volumes that Australia's ACDC are still going strong as of 2025, touring the world and bringing their uncompromising simplistic style of hard rock to the masses. There's little room for complex song arrangements or lengthy compositions here with ACDC, and it was the group's 70s sound that codified their legacy.
Blood on the streets.
Brian Johnson may have been the perfect lead singer replacement for the fallen Bon Scott, but old school fans know full well just how important the latter was to ACDC sound. That screaming wail melded perfectly with Angus Young's fiery guitar and Malcolm's rock-solid rhythm. It was a match and highway made in hell.
I'm on a highway to hell. On the highway to hell.
Number 5. Fleetwood Mac.
Got a black magic woman. I've got a black magic woman.
Their sound was rooted in the blues, but all it took was the welcoming of Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks into the group to help change Fleetwood Mac's sound forever. The self-titled album from 1975 was the band's 10th studio effort, but the first with Buckingham and Nicks, and helped polish up Mac's rough and ready rock roots into something more commercially viable. Fast forward to the gargantuan Rumors record, and you have essentially a band with the sound of the 70s under its collective thumb. The blues was still there, but now a chorus of different songwriting voices were softening things up and appealing to an entire rainbow of new listeners. Number 4. Queen.
Doing alright.
I was born with 4 additional incisors. More space in my mouth means more range. I'll consider your offer.
The 2018 Freddie Mercury biopic Bohemian Rhapsody definitely did a great job of reminding a lot of people about Queen's multi-generational greatness. That said, the band's legacy of operatic hard rock never really went away, as evidenced by just how much Queen's music still means to listeners today.
Stone Cold Crazy.
Queen could virtually invent speed metal one minute with Stone Cold Crazy before venturing effortlessly into disco with Another One Bites the Dust. Then there was Brian May's tendency to fill Queen records with orchestras of guitars, walls of sound that made Queen sound large, in charge, and second to none. Long may they reign.
Show must go on. The show must go on.
Number 3. Black Sabbath.
You see right through these daunting eyes. You know you have to learn.
The age-old question of who exactly created heavy metal is up for debate. Was it Deep Purple? Led Zeppelin? Maybe. But the answer most historians offer up is the almighty Black Sabbath.
Don't you ever say
These boys from Birmingham, England, took their dreary working-class doldrums and sprinkled a little occult fairy dust on top. Tony Iommi's use of that devil's interval tritone on Black Sabbath's opening track essentially set the tone for all doomy metal greatness in its wake. This was a band that could sound heavier than God, while also experimenting with more melodic soundscapes in the 80s and 90s. Said simply, there was little heavier than Black Sabbath in the 70s, and it's still a marvel to listen back to those records today. Number 2. Pink Floyd. The burgeoning psychedelia that helped make Pink Floyd stars in the 60s turn darker and more progressive at the dawn of the 70s. This was the decade that arguably made Floyd matter more than ever before, making them legends and future elder statesmen for classic rock. Landmark studio efforts such as Animals, Metal, The Wall, and Dark Side of the Moon would endear Pink Floyd to a new generation of music fans that was experiencing rock and roll revolution at the ground level. The band would continue on into the 80s and 90s with other fantastic releases, but it was their 70s era that's still rightfully appreciated to this day. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Thin Lizzy. Phil Lynott remains Ireland's greatest rock star. Judas Priest. 70s era Priest forged the heavy metal fire. Eagles. A sound like that warm California sunshine.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Songwriting chops for days. Leonard Skinner. Southern rock royalty.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Led Zeppelin.
You need cool air, baby, I'm not fooling.
They started in the late 60s and were gone by the early 80s. Yet it was the work Led Zeppelin put in during the 70s that helped make them legends. Led Zeppelin III debuted in 1970 and showcased a band in transition, still incorporating heavy bombast into their sound while also writing quieter songs influenced by traditional folk music. Future Zepp efforts during the 70s would see this soft-loud dichotomy grow greater, while their live shows proved just how magnetic the boys could be on stage. Coda was an odds and sods compilation that effectively put an end to Led Zeppelin's studio story in '82. But fans will never forget how these classic rock titans effectively put audiences in a riff-ridden chokehold in the 1970s. What were some 70s rock contemporaries that fell under the radar? Shout out any cult classics of the decade in those comments below.